Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Welcome to our first PU Computer Science online classes. In last class, we studied some important note or concept from problem solving technique, and we know that some important concept, that is algorithm, flowchart, and in last class only we completed one example for the flowchart. Now in today's class we are going to complete some other example for the flowchart that what already completed by using an algorithm. So the first question is draw a flowchart to calculate the simple interest. We know that in algorithm for step 1, step 2, step 3, so by using many steps we completed some of the note for our algorithm here. So now this is the example for the flowchart to calculate the simple interest. So step 1 we need to write in our step 1. The step 1 is the start, okay, and later next one, the step 2 we need to add some of the input variables. The input variables are P, T and R. Clear this point here? In algorithm we need to import some of the variables. So the sum of the variables are, we need to input the variable that is the PTR. The full form is the principal, time and the rate here. And later next one, after that, after using the value for the or some of the amount for our PTR here, later words we are using some of the calculation, and such calculation going to start just to get the calculation for our simple interest. We know that how to make the calculation of the simple interest. The calculation is the P into T into R, and such one going to divide by 100. Clear this point here? And later words we will get such calculation we calculated just to get the answer of the simple interest here, and later words we will get the answer of the output simple interest, and finally we are going to stop the program. Clear this one? Stop the program or the flow chart. Clear? So we know that the start and stop is using by using the symbol terminal, and such symbol is using to indicate the start and end of the program, okay. In case of the start, to start the program, as well as to end of the program, we using the symbol is the terminal here. And we know that maybe to input and output any data, to input the data or display the result, we using this symbol. The symbol name is the input and the output here. So just by using the input symbol, I added some of the variables. What's the variable we need to make the calculation of the simple interest here? So PTR, principal, time and the rate here, and then by using the PTR, that one going to divide by the 100 here. Later words we will get the simple interest, and finally I need to show the simple interest calculation by using the symbol here, by using the symbol process symbol, and later next one the output of the simple interest, and finally going to stop the program. Okay, we know that because this is about our output of simple interest, and finally we are using the algorithm, the step that is called as the stop step. Okay, now here now, okay, now second thing about our second question, draw a flowchart to find the area of a triangle here. So the question, we know that first of all we should understand what's the question. We know the question, then only we can complete, we can get the solution or the result or the output of the program here. So the question is draw a flowchart to find the area of a triangle. Clear this point here? So we know that just to find the area of a triangle, we need to input the value, or inputting variables are the base and the height. Clear this point here? And we know the calculation of the find the area of a triangle, that is area is equal to half into base into height. So this is the calculation about our find the area of a triangle. So clear this point here? Okay, now let's how to complete the calculation or the flow chart to find the area of a triangle. We know that everything or every flow chart going to start by using this symbol name is the terminal. So just I completed the symbol start by using the terminal here, okay, and later next one, after that before going to make any kind of the calculation or perform any kind of the calculation, first of all I need to input the data here, and such inputting of the data I can or we can do it by using the symbol. The symbol name is the input and the output symbol, but here because we know that the input and as well as the output, the symbol both are the same, there is no any doubt, correct? No any confusion here. So the input, and just to make the calculation I am using the inputting variables are base as well as the height here, and now by using the base and the height I am using one more symbol. The name of the symbol is called as the process symbol, and we know that what's the use of the process symbol. The process symbol is using to make the calculation, to perform the calculation. Here in this flow chart I want to make the calculation, I just want to get the result of the area, correct my dear? So first of all I need to do the calculation. So area is equal to half into base into height. Clear? So this is the formula just to find out the area of a triangle here. So area is equal to half into base into height. So this is by using the symbol. The symbol is the process symbol, and after that we will get some of the output of the area. So just I want to show such output of the area by using the symbol like our output symbol. So clear this point here, the output symbol, and finally I am going to stop the program, that is called as the flow chart. So clear the flow chart, how to complete if the question is to find the area of a triangle. Now also many of the questions are there to find the area of a circle, each and everything, but we will go step by step, okay kya, how to complete the flow chart in easy way kya. Or first of all we are going to complete some easy flow chart. Clear this point here? Now I think no any doubt how to complete this one. First of all we need to use step 1 start. In step 2 we need to input some of the variables. What's the variable we need to calculate the area of a triangle? So the variables are base as well as the height here, and after getting the base and height variable, then just by using the formula I am going to use the calculation here, and after the calculation I will get some of the output, that is called as the result of the area, output of the area, and lastly after getting the output, sure I am going to stop the flow chart. So clear this point here about each and everything. Okay, now later next one shall we go to our third flow chart. So what's the question of the third flow chart? So in this case we can say that the question is the draw a flow chart to find the largest of two numbers. Clear this point here? So now here we are using one flow chart, and what's the use of such flow chart here? The flow chart is using just to calculate, to find out whichever is the largest, which number is the largest here. So the question is the to find the largest of two numbers. Clear this point here? Okay, now first of all we need to start from symbol. The symbol name is the terminal. So just I completed by using the symbol terminal, and I return, that is the start, okay here. And later we know that first of all before going to find out whichever is the largest, we know that first of all we need to input the value, input the variables here. So just I am using the variable name. The variable names are the A and B. Clear this point by using the symbol. The symbol name is the input symbol, input data symbol here, okay, or the input symbol. I inputted two variables. Any name of the variable you can use. It is not necessary just only the A and B, but any name of the variable we can use here. But it's better, I think, to use the first letter. We have to select the first two alphabets here. So the input A and the B. Clear this point here? Okay. And note that after inputting, sure, we are using not just only the variable, we are using simply. After that, we adding some of the value, that is called as the numbers, into the variable. So maybe A value is equal to 20 and B value is equal to 10. It's just only the assumption. Any value we can take here. So after inputting, after taking the value to variables here, just I am inputting some value into the variable. So the A value is equal to 20. A ಅಲ್ಲಿ 20 ನಾನು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ and B value ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ 10 value ಅನ್ನು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. Clear this point here? And later after using, now just I am using one more symbol. The name of the symbol is called as the decision symbol. As we know that many type of these symbols are there. Maybe the terminal and input and output symbol, process symbol here, preparation, that is called as the looping symbol, decision symbol, connector symbol, predefined process and flow of direction. So many type of these symbols are there. Depend on the program we are going to use, we need to use the symbols here. So just I want to take some of the decision. That means the decision is which number is the greatest, whichever is the greatest here. So just to know which number is the greatest number. So just I am using this symbol. The symbol name is the decision symbol here, and I am taking the condition as the is A value greater than B here. Clear this point here? The A value greater than, as we know that this symbol is called as the less symbol, correct? No, less than symbol here, and this symbol is called as the greater than symbol. So now I am just using one condition. The condition is the here is, the condition is A value greater than B here. So just you have to think it, imagine it here, and just you have to check it yourself by using this condition. If A value is greater, then sure, if the condition is true, then output is called as the A. Clear this point here? Clear to everyone? If value A is greater, the variable A is greater here, then sure, the statement going to display if the condition is true. Here I completed as the T, that is called as the true here. Then going to display this statement. This statement is the output A here. So clear this point here. And later next one is if the condition is false. Still here we don't know. Clear this point here. Still here we don't know. We just know what's the value is that. But also by using the value, but knowing the value, we can say that whichever is the greatest here. And if the condition is F, the F means is the false here. So if the condition is false, then it going to display this statement. This statement is the output B here. So clear this point. And here both side I used this symbol. This symbol is the output symbol, and we know that the input and output, there is no any confusion. Both symbol are the same symbol here. So the input as well as the output symbol. So depend on the condition. Now you have to check it and just check the condition. The first value is the 20 greater than 10. So when you are going to check the condition, sure, in this case we can say that the A value is the greatest, correct? No, when you are going to compare 20 greater than 10, yeah, so that sure we can say that 20 is the greatest. But when you are going to use A value as 20, B value as the 30, on that tab, whichever is the greatest number is the output B. Clear this point? It depend on the condition, depend on the values. We can say as whichever is the greatest. and after maybe selecting any one condition, maybe the A or B depend on the value. Finally, we need to connect and we need to stop the flow chart. Clear this point here? So this is the flow chart. The first flow chart to calculate the simple interest. The second flow chart, just here we are going to calculate or find here the area of a triangle here, and the last flow chart whatever we completed just now, that means our to find the largest of two numbers. Clear this point here? So depend on the value, it is going to display the answer. Okay. Now we are in the concept of the flow chart and we know the meaning of the flow chart. Correct? No? A flow chart is a pictorial or graphical representation of a solution to a problem here. That means the flow chart using some special geometrical symbols and each symbol representing or doing some kind of the operations here, some kind of the task. Correct? No? Depend on the condition, depend on the step here, just to get the correct solution of the output we using the symbols. So many symbols are there, it's not possible to use any symbols in anywhere. So depend on the step you need to use the symbols. Correct? No? To get the correct solution of the program here. As we know that the meaning of the flow chart here, and also we know that how many types are there in the flow chart, and also we can say that here maybe the one symbol are going to connect with another symbol just by using the arrow. Correct? No? So everywhere just I connected by using the arrow. Clear this point? When you are going to think, when you are going to see every flow chart, everywhere the arrow is there. Clear this point here? So in this case it's going to flow in one direction, top to the bottom here. Here also no any flow direction, only in one flow direction, top to the bottom. But when you are going to think about our third flow chart, maybe depend on the condition, it's going to move maybe the left side, or maybe sometime depend on the condition, it's going to move to the right side. Clear this point? Okay, now we know that. Now the types of the flow chart. The types of the flow chart are program flow chart and the system flow chart, and we already know in last class what's the meaning of the system as well as the program flow chart here. Now after knowing or after understanding the meaning of flow chart and also the types of the flow chart here, and maybe some important note about the flow chart. Now we are going to complete the next thing about our advantage of the flow chart. Clear this point here? The advantage of the flow chart here. The first advantage we can say as the first advantage, the flow chart are very easy to understand. Maybe I completed now in this class only, in today's class only, example 3 flow chart. I think no any doubt to anyone. Correct? No? So we can say that the flow chart is very easily we can understand the flow chart, because since they are the pictorial or graphical representation of a solution to a problem. Is it? That means how we completing the program, how we completing the flow chart, just by using the symbols in a diagrammatical manner, in a diagram manner. By using the symbols we are going to complete the flow chart. So the first advantage we can say that the flow chart is very easy, or easily we can understand it here, because or it is a pictorial or graphical representation of a solution to a problem here. Okay, now after knowing the first point in case of the flow chart, as we know that we know the advantage of an algorithm. What I said in our advantage of the algorithm, I completed the one point as the it is very easily we can develop to an algorithm, then converting such algorithm to the flow chart here, and later lastly going to convert into the programming language that is called as the coding. Is it here? So here also I am going to use the same for our flow chart. So here we can say that it is very easily we can convert or we can develop to the algorithm, then converting to the flow chart here, and later very easily, very understandable point, in a very understandable point we can convert into the programming language that is called as the coding. Clear this point here? So this is the second advantage of the flowchart here. Now let's the third advantage of the flowchart. So what about the third advantage here? So we can say that not just only the algorithm, in case of the flowchart also we can say that it is independent of the programming language. Clear this point here? That means maybe any type of problem or any type of any solution is there, that means without the help of any it possible to get by using our flowchart. They don't want anyone's help here. So it is independent of the programming language here. And also the fourth point we can say about it is easy to debug. Okay, kya? We know the meaning of the debug. What's the meaning of the debug? That after the check, after the test of the program here, maybe if you get some correction in the program, such correction or correcting the errors in the program is called as the debug. So clear this point? So we can say that very easily we can make the debug in the program here. The debug means correcting the errors in the program. ಏನೇ ಒಂದು ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಬದಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಆಗ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ರಬ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮೇ ಬಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಒನ್ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು complete the flow chart, okay kya, from top to the bottom, that means as a debug in this case here it is very difficult. It is the disadvantage of the flow chart also. Maybe one symbol or any small point is that means it very easily just by using rubbing we can make the correction in the flow chart here. So we can say that it is the advantage as well as the disadvantage also. Advantage hege just ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ ನಾವು ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಅದೇ ತುಂಬಾ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮೇ ಬಿ 2-3 ಸಿಂಬಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ ಹಿಯರ್, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಶ್ಯೂರ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಲ್ಟರೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್, ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ some changes in the flow chart here. So in case of the advantage we can say that maybe it's a simple error, simple mistake that very easily we can make the debug in our flow chart here, okay. And later next one after that we can say about the different users can use the flow chart to understand the logic of the program here. That means many users why they are using the flow chart, just to know what's the logic of the program, how the program going to solve or how the program is to be solved here. So each and everything what the logic is there about the program or in the program, just to understand they are using the flow chart. So here we can say that the different users can use the flow chart just to know, just to understand what's the logic of the program here. So clear this point here. And later also we can say that some other points here. In this case, in case of our flowchart, it provides an excellent means of communication and which is very easily we can understand it. That means from one to another, maybe anything is there very clearly, very easily understandable. We can use such one. So no any problem, no any confusion, no any doubt how we got the answer here. So finally we can say that it provides an excellent means of communication. Clear this point here? Providing an excellent means of communication which is very easily we can understand it here. So all are called as the advantage of the flow chart. Okay, now again I am repeating the advantage of the flow chart as the first one what I said. Why? Because we know the meaning of the flow chart. So flow chart is a pictorial or graphical representation to get the solution here. So all those pictorial diagrammatical representation, because of this reason we can understand each and every symbol flow chart, the logic of the flow chart very easily. So which is very easy to understand. The second point I said, that means we know that very easily we can develop to an algorithm, then convert to the flowchart here, and lastly to the programming language very easily. Correct na kya? And later next one, the third point we can say as the it is independent. That means without the help of any it can do the work with itself. Clear this point here? So it is independent of the programming language here. And the last fourth point we can say as maybe any small correction is that means it is easy to debug. We know the meaning of the debug, that means correcting the mistake here. The corrections in the program is called as the debug here. And later next one, the fifth point, we can say that means many users use the flowchart to understand the logic. What's the logic? They were used or they are used in the program here. So clear this point. And lastly, that means whatever is there, so whatever the communication is there from one symbol to the another symbol, which is very easy to understand, or it provides excellent means of communication from one symbol to the another. So all are which are very easy to understand. Okay, now after completing the advantage of the flowchart, the next thing about our disadvantages. So we can say that the disadvantage here, as we know that in our symbols, many symbols we are going to use in the flowchart, or symbols used in a flowchart are terminal, input and output symbols, then process symbol, and looping, that is called as the preparation symbol here, or maybe conditional statement symbol here, connector, and maybe the flow direction predefined symbol. Totally many symbols are there we are going to use. So it is a time consuming process, correct no here? It is a time consuming process. Why I use the word it is a time consuming process? Because here we can say that it gives us the number of these symbols. Many symbols are there which are to be properly represented. So yava point ige yava symbol suit ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದೇ symbol ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. Clear this point? Maybe I want to input the data. Is it possible to take the decision symbol in case of the inputting of the data into the program here? No, we can't use such a symbol here. Input symbol ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು symbol ಇದೆ, decision ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು symbol ಇದೆ. So we can say that whatever the symbol is there, we need to represent this symbol in a proper manner. Clear this point here? So the first disadvantages, it uses many number of the symbols here, and whatever the symbols are there, all those symbols should take it in a proper or correct manner here, which are to be properly represented. Clear this point? Okay, now after the first point, we can say that I already explained one advantage, that is we can say that here it is easy to debug, correct no? But ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಒನ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಇಸ್ ದರ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಸಿಂಬಲ್, ದೆನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ರಬ್ಬಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಬಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ದಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ರಾಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಟಾಪ್ ಟು ದಿ ಬಾಟಮ್. ಟೋಟಲಿ ಆ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆವರೆಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ನೀವು ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಏನ್ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಅದು ಟೋಟಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ರಬ್ಬಿಂಗ್? ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ no, we can't do the correction here. So here we can say that if alterations or any changes are required in the flow chart, that means the flow chart may require redesigning completely. Is it? So that means maybe one small mistake, okay, no any problem, just in one symbol you can do it. But what about the flowchart is totally going to wrong here? That means totally the flowchart is wrong, that is from top to the bottom. We can't do any correction in the flowchart. We need to redraw the flowchart completely. Clear this point here? So this is the disadvantage of the flowchart. So clear now about the advantage as well as the disadvantages. Okay, now let's the next thing about our coding. It's a very important question for 1 mark question here. The meaning of the coding, we know that. Maybe if any problem or program going to solve, how we are going to start from? First of all I want to convert, that means to an algorithm, correct no? And later words we are going to convert from algorithm to the flowchart here, and then from flowchart to the programming language here. So the same point I want to tell in case of the coding here. So in case of the coding, we can say that the process of converting, okay kya, the process of converting an algorithm or flowchart into a set of instructions, that is called as into a set of programming language, that is, or it is known as the ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್? ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನಾವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಟು ದಿ algorithm, then we are going to convert to the flowchart here, and after that from flowchart we are going to convert into the set of the instruction. This set of instruction only called as the programming language here, into the programming code. So such one is called as the coding. So clear this point here is called as the coding here. Later next one is about our next point is the testing and debugging. As we know that the problem solving technique here, in our problem solving technique many steps, many stages are there. We already completed, we started from the first class only, maybe the problem definition, problem analysis here, design of a solution using the algorithm and the flowchart here, and after the design of a solution the next point is the fourth one is called as the coding. Now we are in the fifth stage of the problem solving technique. The stage name is the testing and debugging. Clear this point here? The testing and the debugging. Yeah, so what about the test? That means after completing the program, now we already completed the program, we already written the program, now already computer use ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು otherwise maybe by using the page we already written the program. ನಾವು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ here? And after completing the program, just before going to get the solution I want to test the program. Is it? ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಬರ್ದ ನಂತರ just one correction, just one check ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ whether everything is proper or not in the program. Whatever you are written in the program, whether everything is proper or not. So such one only going to test, going to check is called as the testing in the program. Clear this point here? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ? ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? So we can say that the process of checking the program whether the program works correctly according to the requirement of the user. ಯೂಸರ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು? ಯೂಸರ್ಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬೇಕು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋ? ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯುವುದು ಯಾಕೆ? just to get the correct solution, correct output of the program here. So we can say that checking the program, testing the program, and just to test or check the program, just to see whether whatever we written in the program, whether everything is proper or not, is it able to get the correct solution in the program or not. Clear this point here? Or in simple words we can say the meaning of the testing here. So the testing is the process of checking or whether the program produces the correct result for a given input. Correct? No, we already inputted the correct value, but is it able to get the correct solution from this inputted value? So just we are going to test before going to execute the program, before going to get this solution. Correct? No here? So ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ತೆಗೆಯುವ ಮುಂಚೆ is better to test the program, to check the program whether everything is proper or not. Okay, now this is called as the testing. Now let's, and we know that such a testing is also called as the validation. Clear this point? The testing is also called as the validation. This is the other name of the testing here. Now we are in the concept. The concept is the testing, not just only the testing, it also called as the validation. Now the second point is the debugging. So what about the debugging? So debugging, we can say that here the process of correcting the errors in the program. ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಆ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಕಿಯಾ? ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವಲ್ಲ ಆ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್, ಆ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಡಿಬಗ್ಗಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಡಿಬಗ್ಗಿಂಗ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ correcting the errors in the program. We are going to make the correction, some errors in the program here, and such debugging is also calling as the verification. Clear this point here? Such one is also called as the verification. I think every point is clear about our, that is from the flowchart, the flowchart of simple interest here, the flowchart of area of a triangle here, and also find the largest of two numbers depend on the condition, maybe we are going to move here or there here, and lastly some of the advantage of the flowchart, disadvantage of the flowchart, the meaning of the coding here, and also the fifth stage of the problem solving technique, that is the testing, and also we can say as debugging. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.